Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. Today's a big one. This is going to be a long video and I have no apologies for that because I just got in the mail something that I ordered way back in June last year. The Estrus book, Shovelin The Shit. Wow. Estrus Records. Where do I even begin with Estrus Records? One of the greatest, if not the greatest garage rock label of all time. I discovered them. You can go back to the 5678's Japanese video I did. I've discovered them through the 5678s. In fact, it was this record right here. I Walk Like Jayne Mansfield by the 5678s. I did not know anything about Estrus Records, but Spiral Objective was selling this single. And I have been a huge fan of Jayne Mansfield for my whole life. And when I saw that there was a song called I Walk Like Jayne Mansfield, I was like, I got to hear it, so I bought this single. That opened me up to the whole world of Estrus Records. As you can see there is the label with Estrus written on it. I was just really blown away by the whole label aesthetic, the way everything looked, the artwork, everything about Estrus Records. It just had this look that when you saw it in the record store and you picked it up, you were like, this is an Estrus release. And as soon as you turned it over, it was like, yep, it is. And I love that about it. I love that they had this cool art aesthetic that was going through the whole label. And so let's have a look at Estrus Records and the collection that I have, which is not complete because some of the records are still in the USA. I didn't want to wait until May or June or whatever to talk about this book. This book is awesome. I can't wait to get into this with you. But I feel that, first of all, let's go through the records and then let's get to the book. Because there's a lot of records and they're all fantastic. So let's do it. So we'll start with the 7 inches because why not, right? Because they're small, they're easy. Let's get through them. 5, 6, 7, 8s. The 145s, Estrus Crust. The A-Bones, the Ape Men. Look at that cover art. I love that cover art. And there you go. The Beguiled. Again, awesome cover art. I love this stuff. Look at it. Look how it looks. It's just so good. I love this whole trash rock, trash movie, trash everything, Americana 50s lifestyle stuff that goes on with these Estrus Records. It's really unique looking. The Blow Tops. This one's on red. There you go. This is an Estrus Crust series. The Brood. Let's represent Australia with Brother Brick. Nice. Look at that there. Very, very cool. This is on red. The Cheetah Slicks. The D Rangers. The Del Lagunas. This is instrumental stuff. I like this one a lot. I just buy anything with Estrus's label on it. I know it's going to be a sign of quality. Here's Electric Frankenstein on green. You're So Fake. Estrella 2020, the Fells, this one's on red, as you can already see. The Galaxy Trio, again, great artwork. This looks like a Les Baxter record cover. Do you agree? I think it does. I know that if Chris was watching this, he'd be like, yes, that's totally a Les Baxter record cover. So, yeah, very, very cool. Game for Vultures. I found this one in Amoeba. Gasoline from Japan. Girl Trouble. So good. The Goners, the Go Nuts. Love the Go Nuts. Superhero snack food jams. And why not? Here's another red vinyl one. This is Go to Blazers. Gravel. I have every record that this guy's put out, Gravel. They're really, really good. The Quadrajets and the Helicopters together combined to do this killer single, which is just amazing. Like, this just rules. I love the Quadrajets. We all love the Helicopters. So it's a match made in heaven. The Helicopters Looking at Me, 7 inch. I love the cover art again. Really, really cool looking. Old Stag magazines or something like that. The Henchmen. This is on gold vinyl. Very cool. Huevos Rancheros. Estrus Crust. The Immortal Lee County Killers. Awesome. Song's called Let's Get Killed. It's great. I love Impala and I love the artwork in this one. Once again, this is really, really cool. If you don't know Impala, you need to look them up. Instrumental music, fantastic. The Inhalants. The Insomniacs. There you go. The Insomniacs once again. It's Jackie and the Cedrics. Can't go wrong with Jackie and the Cedrics. Look at that back cover art. So good. This is die cut, this is Jack of Fire, and this is like a pumpkin shape, but it's also a glow-in-the-dark record or something like that. So, yeah. The only problem is trying to get it back. You're always going to catch it on the tooth there, trying to put it back in. But, yeah, it's called Pumpkin. Very, very cool. The Lord High Fixes. Awesome. There you go. Los Marauders. Now, I had to pick up this one regardless if it was on Estrus or not because of the Mexican wrestling thing. Love that stuff. The M80s. Love the cover art. Awesome. Classic Japanese garage rock and roll. There's a Mad 3 right there on Estrus. The Makers, double 7-inch. Love the Makers. They jumped around on a few labels, but it was always great. Inside the Head of Mr. Adam. Mano Astro-Man. Love Mano Astro-Man. They have got tons and tons of releases out. I don't know how they keep on finding riffs to play because I feel that they've played every riff possible. But no, they still churn out records and there's just tons of it and they're great. The Mance, I Smell Women. Marble Orchid. Marble Orchid. The Michelle Gunn Elephant. Awesome. Love the Mistreaters. What a band. So, so good. The Monkey Wrench, of course. Do a great version of the Pusher on this. Purple. Nice. Sugar Man by Rodriguez. Check that out, man. They cover Sugar Man. It's a really good version too. You should check that out. Another die cut one. Mono Men, of course. Dave Kreider from the Mono Men owned Estrus Records. There you go. Mystery. Oh, you can't really tell, but yeah. Mooney Suzuki. Awesome band. The Mortals. So good. Mortals again. Everyone loves the Mummies, and rightly so. I saw them play in New York City, and they were fantastic. The New Wave Hookers. There you go. With Crystal Bullet and The Devil Made Me Do It. The Nightcaps. Awesome. The Nomads. Pack of Lies. Great. Phantom Surfers, of course. So good. Poison 13. Prison Shake. How cool is that parody of a record cover? You've seen it before, and if you haven't, it's Sonic Youth Goo. Just done Estrus style. The Quadrajets. Great version of Whole Lotta Rosie on the flip side. This is a fuzzed out, crazy song called Pumpkin-Headed Motherfucker. It is amazing. Absolutely love it. It's just so, so brutal. I love this band, the Quadrajets. The Rayons. Rocket Scientists. Look at that Coop art. There you go. Cooper art all over. Love Coop's art. The Roof Dogs. The Screamin' Furies. Another Screamin' Furies die cut cover. Love it. Sewer Grooves, including Mr. Robert Erickson from the Helicopters on the drums. Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet. Try say that 10 times in a row. The Star Spangled Bastards. Stumpy Joe. Sugar Shack. How good is that artwork? The legendary Supercharger. This is awesome. I love this Super Snow single because it has this nice Faster Pussycat thing on the back. And I really like the packaging on this one. This comes with a comic book. So there you go. You can read along as you listen to the record. Really good packaging. Look at that. How good is that? That artwork is amazing. The Swinging Netbreakers. What an awesome band. Really good version of Good Good Lovin' on the flip side. Switch Trout, double 7-inch. The Switch Trout rod action. Switch Trout Under the Wire. The Tricky Woo one, which we've already talked about in a previous video. TV Killers, awesome band. The Untamed Youth. The Volcanoes. Now, this is some of my favorite Estrus cover artwork. I love Hot Wheels cars. I love the logo, the Hot Wheels logo. I love the fact that it's like a lunchbox. Look at it. So cool. So, so cool. I love this. The Von Zippers, another die cut cover. The Von Zippers again. The Von Zippers again. The Waste Kings. That's on gold. Wednesday. Zen Gorilla. And then we've got some various artist ones here. We've got the Sensational Sounds of the Estrus Invitationals. Awesome. This one's cool. It's basically inspired by drag racing stuff. So you've got the Drags, Impala, the Insomniacs, Mono Men, and the Lord High Fixers. Tales from Estrus. This one's all Japanese bands. So Super Snaz, American Soul Spiders, Jackie and the Cedrics, and the Beyonds. This is another Estrus Crust, number 66 of 2000. It would have been cool if it was 666, but I'll take 66. It's got the Mono Man, Game for Vultures, and Marble Orchid on it. This is the Cocktail Companion which has got the Eight Men, the Cow Slingers, the Del Lagooners, Girl Trouble, Jackie and the Cedrics, Jack of Fire, the Makers, Man or Astro-Man, the Mortals, Southern Culture on the Skids, and Satan's Pilgrims, and finishing with Teen Generate. Wow. It's still got everything in it. I found this secondhand, and it actually has all the things, including the Drink Stirrer. How cool is that? Look at that. Coasters. And the Estrus Crust Forms. So that's the 7 inches. Let's get to the 10 inches. I've got tons of the CDs, but they're under the bed, as I always say, and I'm not going to be bothered to pull all that stuff out. The Drags. Dragsploitation Now, 10 inch. The Galaxy Trio. Love this stuff. The Gimmicks, High Heels. Gimmicks, awesome band. You know, the singer from the Gimmicks was in the hardcore band Insight. True story. Impala, Kings of the Strip. Love this. Again, awesome cover artwork. Love it. Mad Three's Napalm in the Morning. Madam X. The Makers. The Mono Men, live at Tom's Strip and Bowl. I guess it's like strip poker. You get strikes and maybe people take off their clothes. I don't know. But it's bizarre and it's quirky and cool. This one I'll cover up. This is Shut the Fuck Up. This is a instrumental record for the people who don't like the way we sing. The Splash 4 and the Statics. That is all the Estrus 10 inches. Let's get to the LPs. Tons of the records are still in the USA, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of Estrus LPs there waiting for me. So, this is still a big pile, but it's not all of them, and I wish I had the others here, but we're going to go through it. 145s. This album's really funny. Like, it's a bunch of songs and covers and stuff like that, but they've made all these song titles just to be rock this, rock that. And it's very, very funny because they're not the song titles of the songs at all. Cherry Valance, love this album. There's a song in here called, what is it, Sweat, Sweat, Sweat All Over You. That song rules. The first Cherry Valance LP, before this one on Estrus, is absolutely phenomenal. And I wish I could find the LP of it. I have the CD of it, but I don't have the LP. I mean, I know I could jump online and buy it, but I prefer to find things in the wild because it's more exciting that way. The Crown Royals, All Night Burner. This is a good record too. Instrumental stuff, really like it. The Drag Stop Rock and Roll. Love it. Electric Frankenstein, Live to Air, LP. Of course. Of course they have records on Estrus. They got records in every label ever. Gravel, Break a Bone. Gravel, No Stone Unturned. Impala, Play Your R&B Favorites. This is a good one. The Insomniacs. The Makers. I had been looking for this record for a very long time, and I was in Japan in 2019 with my mum, going through records in this record store, and there it was, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, this is mine, and grabbed it, and it was like 1,000 yen, so it was like $10. I was so happy to find it. Finally! The Makers, Hunger. The Makers, Howl. The Makers, Psychopathia Sexualis. The Makers, All Night Riot. Man or Astro-Man. Destroy All Astro-Man by Man or Astro-Man. Project Infinity by Man or Astro-Man. A lot of people I know don't know this band, and you should. The guy that is a bass player, I think, in this band, he run Dusty Medical Records. But yeah, the Mistreaters, man. The Mistreaters. This album is killer. Player Hated to the Fullest, it's called. It's a really, really good punk record. So if you're into like garage punk rock and roll, you need this album. This album is phenomenal. Wrecker by the Mono Men. I know it's not the uncensored one, but hey, it's still Wrecker by the Mono Men, and it's still fantastic. Stop Dragging Me Down. I like this cover art more than the original cover art, or the other cover art, I should say. The artwork by Scott McDougall kind of has that bit of an Alan Forbes feel to it, which I really, really like. So yeah, I really dig this record. Right now, what a great song, that guitar riff, the down, so good. This is My Bent Pages by the Mono Men. I love how this artwork folds out. It looks very, very cool. And on the inside as well. Like, how cool is that? Love it. This one has the postcard in there as well. It's a letter from Dave Kreider, actually, this postcard. He sent me some stuff for review, and he wrote a note on the back of this postcard. But yeah, this is the LP. Found this at Restless Records in Chicago for $6, and I was stoked because I didn't have it, and I loved this. I had the CD, of course, because it was sent with this when he wrote to me to review these CDs. But yeah, stoked to finally have it on LP. The Mortals, the opener on this, I Want More, is just such a great song, man. Guitar tone is killer. Just everything about this album rules. I love the cover art too. I love the photo and everything. It's really, really cool. Ritual Dimension of Sound. The Mortals, I found this one in Switzerland when I went to that record store where everything was like €1 or €2 or something. And I was stoked to find it there because Mortals records weren't easy to find in Australia. But there it was, sitting there, including a Motorhead cover of Stay Clean and Looking at You by the MC5. Bulletproof by the Mortals. Awesome. The classic. The Mummies play their own records. I love this. This is so good. This is cool. This is the Phantom Surfers playing music from the big screen, right? This is a cool record. Fine records need not be expensive. That is true. Especially punk records. Stop fucking ripping people off. This is not technically a Estrus release, but it is played by the Phantom Surfers, and I'm pretty sure they distributed it, and Estrus had something to do with it. It's the Hobby Hut Raceways present the exciting sounds of model road racing. This is a really, really great record. It's instrumental music that is stuff you would listen to if you're like, you know, playing Skeletrix or whatever and racing and stuff, which if you've never done, you should do, because I love that shit. It's so cool. And look at these hot rod cars. So rad. And then it's got like the lingo on the back so you can talk to your friends in model road racing lingo. The Splash 4, of course. Supercharger goes way out. Love this stuff. This album rules. Spend the Night with the Trash Women. This is a great record. Really, really good record. I love the Trash Women. The Woggles. This is the first Woggles record I bought. I bought this without knowing a single note of what they sounded like, but I really loved the cover art, and I just thought, wow, this is really cool. And there's a song in there, My Baby Likes to Boogaloo, which is a cover, but it's just such a good song. And I remember reading this on the back and just being like, oh wow, this sounds really cool. This sounds like a great record. So I bought the record, and I was just amazed at how good the Woggles are. Lastly is a Various Artists album. It's a tribute album. It's called Here Ain't the Sonics. And it's a tribute to the Sonics. And it's really good. Nomads, Girl Trouble, Mono Men, The Original Sin, Screaming Trees, Game for Vultures, Surf Trio, The Headcoats, The Cynics, Young Fresh Fellows, Pippi Eats Cherries, Fallouts, Marshmallow Overcoat, Kings of Rock, Mojo Nixon, and Skid Roper. I bought this one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Ides Music. If I'm correct, Ides Music, is that what it's called? And it was $12, and it was awesome. So that is all my Estrus records that are here in Australia. Like I said, there are tons of CDs, they're under the bed, and there's also tons of vinyl still in America that I have to get to. I hope to one day complete the entire vinyl discography of Estrus Records. I would love to do that. Hopefully before I die. All this stuff is great. All of it's great. All of it. Every single Estrus release I absolutely love. I don't recall there ever being an album or single that I bought that I was like, nah, just not feeling this one. It's no good for me. So yeah, but yeah, Estrus Records. Now, this is the reason why you're here. The book. Let's get into it. All right, let's get to it. Shovelin The Shit Since '87. The book on Estrus Records. This is the ultimate book. If you grew up with garage rock and roll, then you obviously would have been familiar with Estrus Records. They were like one of the top two garage rock labels. You had Estrus Records and you also had Sympathy for the record industry. Both were churning out records like left, right, and center. It was great. It was a great time to be into record buying. And the thing that I really loved the most about Estrus was that you felt like you were investing in a piece of art. Like, because it wasn't just about the music. Like, the presentation, the packaging, the look of the labels, like just the art, everything about it. It just seemed like you were really investing in something more than just buying a record by a band. You know what I mean? Like, it had this feeling of like, I'm getting something back for my money, like worth more than the money I paid. And I always loved that. Dave Kreider had a really good vision for what he wanted with the label and stuff like that. So this book, done by Chris Alpert Coyle and Scott Sugiuchi, is that how you pronounce your name? I'm really sorry if I'm getting that wrong. Scott Sugiuchi, with Dave Kreider and Art Chantry. Now, Art Chantry did most of the artwork for Estrus Records releases, and Dave Kreider, of course, was the head honcho. This book, man, it's like 260-something pages or whatever. It's really thick, and, look at that. Look, it's a hardcover book. You got this like bookmark there, but I want to go through it with you now, but I don't want to show you everything because I want you to buy this book. This book cost me $57.99 Australian off Amazon, and it's worth every cent. Like, this is such a fantastic book. Let's have a look, shall we? So you open it up here and you've got all the different Estrus logos, of which there were a few. And it's so cool to see them all here because there were just so many of them. I remember always seeing it when I picked up a record. I was like, oh, wow, they've changed the logo again, you know, or something like that. And it's just cool the way it looks. I'm not going to show you everything, like I said, but I want you to see the pages feel great. Like, the quality is really, really good. It just looks amazing. Like, look at this. Look at this layout as well as we go through. Tons of words, tons of interviews, tons of photos, tons of pictures. And the whole thing is like full color. I mean, obviously, if the record covers or posters were black and white, they're going to be in black and white. But, you know, like, it's just a really, really solid looking book, you know, and it's just amazing. It's got everything from the record covers to promo photos to advertisement to promotional items, you know, everything. Like, look at this. Like, how cool is that? So, yeah, nice write-ups and everything, live photos, you know, lots of good liner notes, interviews with band members and things like that. This is exactly what you want when it comes to a book on a record label like Estrus, or any record label, really. You want it to be this detailed. You want it to have all this cool stuff. You want it to have everything so their history is all here in one book. You don't need to go searching for it on the internet. Oh, where was that advert for I want me a man who uses Estrus crust or anything. You know, if you're looking for that, it's in here. It's right there. You know what I mean? Like, everything is here. The Mummies. The Mono Men. Of course the Mono Men are going to be featured heavily in this because that was Dave's band. You know? But yeah, it's just incredible. Lots of different gig flyers and posters and things like that. It's just so good to see all this in one place. And yeah, I've been a huge fan of this aesthetic, this artwork, and I'm just so glad that it's here now. Finally arrived in Australia today, which is when I picked it up. It took me a while to get it. I ordered it in June last year, but it finally arrived. So, the Garage Shock stuff. How good would it have been to go to Garage Shock? I wish I went. If you went to Garage Shock, tell me how good it was in the comments. I wish that I had gone to Garage Shock. I don't want to show you everything because I want you to go out and buy this book and support it. Because this is the stuff that, you know, it's just awesome. I want you to buy this book. I want you to hold it in your hands. I want you to be able to smell the pages. Remember when Dave Crowder was saying in the Hype movie how, you know, when a new vinyl record, you can smell the record and it smells great. I want you to have that same experience with this book. This is what you want. This thing right here. This is a 10 out of 10 book. And for the price, oh my God, like, you can't beat that price. Like, you really can't. This book is everything that you want if you're into garage rock and roll. I'm so looking forward to getting stuck into it, listening to the records again as I read about them. I don't know if you do that, but that's the way I like to enhance my experience when I read about records and bands and stuff, is I like to listen to the record, you know, as I'm reading it, or just before I read it, or just after I read it, just to enhance it so I can, you know, get a better understanding of what they were talking about. I'm so glad that it's finally here. To Chris, Scott, Dave, and Art, 10 out of 10, my friends. This is how all books about record labels should be. This should be the go-to. This should be the blueprint for any future books about record labels, about garage rock and roll, about anything like that. This is just amazing. Well, there you have it, my friends. That is my walk through Estrus Records. What a trip. I love this label, man. I really do. I love this music so much. And yeah, I hope you do too. And I mean, I'm guessing if you've watched this far, then you are a big fan of the label as well. So yeah, awesome. Do yourself a favor. Go out and buy some records. Go out and buy some Estrus records. You know, buy whatever you can. If you're in Amoeba, then some of these records are like $1 each. You can find them really cheap in those boxes of 7 inches that they keep in there. Just look for them, man. You'll find them. And it doesn't matter. Estrus is a sign of quality. Whatever record you pick up, you're going to love it no matter, okay? So yeah, take care of yourselves. Look after each other. I will see you in another video very soon. I'm off to go see the Cosmic Psychos and Zeke tear it up at the Croxton. Look after yourselves. Cheers.